everyone? My name is Lionel. I'm your host of LT Productions. If you are watching, I Watch It Watch. Today we are covering Divorce Sistas, currently streaming on Paramount Plus. This is season 1B, episode 14. I believe we have a couple more episodes left, and then we gotta wait until it comes back. But I'm anticipating a great season finale, but we're gonna see what happens. But we're gonna get into this episode. But before we do, what I need you to do, please like this video. You can also subscribe and leave your comments below. Now, let's get on into this. All right, y'all. I'm probably just gonna say two words. William, Willie, Bill, Geneva, Gigi. Before we get there though, let's start it out with the opening of the episode, which was Hakeem pointing his GUN at Franklin. Franklin basically knew what this is. He knew that this is just a setup from Naomi and all of that. Hakeem's not talking and whatnot. He's more getting, how can I say this, a little bit more serious every time Franklin tries to do anything. But he asks, can I get a drink before you do what you do? Da, 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 da. What is she paying you? I could pay you more. You know she's not gonna really pay you. I mean, how's looking? I think Franklin knows his wife because Naomi's saying, okay, I'm gonna get. No, it doesn't look that way. All we know is that at one point Franklin says, I'm ready, do what you came to do. We go to Grayson's dorm room. I guess he's trying to find out where his father is because right now he's not responding. Da, 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 da. Francis is there, and they're looking at security footage, and he ended up seeing that there was some movement outside, and then ended up seeing somebody around there, and he's like, "Wait a minute, somebody's actually on the premises. I need to know what's going on here." They end up going over to Naomi's hotel suite, because Grayson is coming up with something where he's figuring out himself that his mom must have something to do with this. So Naomi's there in her, what do you want to call it? Is it BDSM? Y'all let me know in the comments. In that lingerie that she always has on when she's ready to get a little kinky like. Grayson is up, saying, hey, what's going on? Because I'm checking out security footage and there's some guy at Dad's home, and she's just playing it off. I don't know what's going on. Da, 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 da. Of course, Grayson has all these suspicions, always asking all this, whatever. And then next thing you know, we actually see the person that Naomi's entertaining. Now I thought it was quite interesting. Like, Naomi, are you really serious? You are really seriously entertaining a person doing your freaky kinky stuff right in the middle of whatever you got going on with Hakeem, and the police is looking for you. I don't know what's going on with you. All I asked earlier, I'm like, what do you got going on? Why are you doing all of this? Like, it's too much. Whatever. Let's see. Next up, we're gonna talk about Bridget. Even though I'm gonna tell you this much. At this moment, I'm getting bored with Bridget's story. Bridget's story is quite one note, in my opinion. This young guy that she won't break it off with, that she knows is just whatever, Anyway, she's back at her home. Vonda has broken in again, and she's asking, "What are you doing here?" He says that, "I know the police are looking for me, so I got to stay here." She's like, "You can't do that. I don't want to go to jail." "Well, you need to find the key that Calvin wants." He said, "I can't remember where it's at." Da, 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 da. And with her help, it leads him to remember where the key could possibly be, which is in, I think that's his work pants. Well, it can't be his work pants because he don't have no job. Oh, because I think he had on Calvin's uniform or something, but whatever, when he had gotten away from him before, whatever it was. But anyways, he finds the keys. He gives them to Bridget, and she tells him he has to go. And of course, it's this very childish, like, I'm gonna get my game and something else. And then she talking about how I don't know what to do. It's not even comedic. It's not the comedic. No, that was okay the first couple episodes, but it's just nothing there to draw me in to actually want to hear what this person is doing. Anyways, Bridget calls Calvin and tells him, "Hey, I got the key." And she said, "We'll just see you tomorrow. I'll drop it off at the church." And he said, "No, I got to get it now." I said, "Oh, so what's going to happen?" Well, Calvin comes over and she gives him the key, and of course he thanks her. And also he said that he owes her an apology for trying to tell her what to do. And she accepts it and all that. And then there's all of this unknown speech or this communication that Calvin's trying to really say. Bridget is very standoffish again and trying to just say, I don't want anything to do with you. Like, you're married and all that. Like, yeah. And then he said, I'm getting a divorce, da 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 da. I don't understand why you're so topsy-turvy over Vaughn. You don't even know how to get rid of him. He's like a monkey on your back, but it's a staunch no when it comes to Calvin, as if he has shown you something that's just like, you're talking about some dirty nails, and you can't really deal with someone that makes a decent living. Someone that's rugged in the hands. All up in here, he's good looking. All up in there, his body's right. I don't understand what it is. Whatever, Bridget. But again, you're quite one note at this moment. And Tyler, can you do something a little bit more to speed up that story into something else? Please, please, please. Now, we're getting into the meat and potatoes. Whew. William, Billy Boy, and Gigi. They go to Pastor Jeff and Rashida's home. And now it's time to lay it out there and just see what happens. There are some honesty moments. More moments need to happen. Anyways. Where is it at? I have my notes, sorry. So William opens up emotionally. Before, he just wanted to get into it and just say, okay, so who were you sleeping with? And they was like, wait, let's see what we can do here. Let's ease ourselves into this conversation. That's all he wants to know. So he can go on about his life. That's how I'd be. Let's stop pussyfooting around. They end up talking a little bit about their relationship, and we find out how they met. And what he said is that she ended up crashing into him on his bike. Sounds familiar? Mr. Tyler, let's not repeat storylines, please. That is significant in the Zach and Fatima love story. Let's not do that. I was actually still watching Sistas at the time, so let's not do that, sir. Anyways, he talked about how they were falling for each other and all that. I guess that broke down some of Geneva's defenses or walls or whatever. And she ended up saying that Anika's not yours. And then he's like, who did you sleep with? I'm not telling. Finally, we get a little chip out, but then she's just so staunch and still about everything else. Jefferson was like, well, calm down. You don't know, maybe it was still an IVF slip up. And William said, no, let's not play dumb. Who did you sleep with? She won't say. Then William said, well, do you love that person? She still was silent, and the silence was speaking heavily. And William said, I know the truth. He did bring up in regards to, you're sitting up here accusing me of cheating. You're sitting up here going to one of the parents accusing me of cheating, and it's you all along. I think we kind of figured out that Geneva was trying to do that as a way to even the score. Just in case she finally was going to reveal that she was cheating, she could throw that back up in his face so he can't really judge her or whatever, or shame her in what she has done. That's a lawyer mind, in my opinion. Fight fire with fire, but it didn't happen. So, since Geneva isn't answering any more questions, William leaves. Jefferson runs after him just to say, hey, let's continue this on. He was like, no, not at this point. No, Pastor, I'm gone. Geneva's sitting there crying, and Rashida was like, ma'am, what are you gonna do? You need to tell him everything. I can't. I can't. G. Anyways, I gotta go. Okay. So then Rashida and Pastor Jeff, they kind of debrief a little bit, just like, this is a lot. This is heavy. You already knew that, Rashida. While you sitting up here, you said, like, look, there's gonna be a lot to unpack. You told him that. So I don't even know why you said, like, you so overwhelmed. You've been holding on to her secrets for 5-6 years. And maybe more. Whatever other secrets there are. But anyways, from that point, we move on over to Javon and Tiffany. Javon saying all the right things, but Tiffany's just like, you're saying all that, but, you know, Javon wants to have sex. And she's like, look, I think you're just going to have to go because I need clarity. I need to think. I think that was the best thing. But anyways, it seemed like he talked her out of her drawers again. We just didn't see it again. But anyways, he ends up leaving. And we'll get back to him again. I already talked about Miss Naomi and what she had going on. Hakeem did call and asked, it's done. Oh, well, not, he didn't ask, he said, it's done. Where's my money? She said, I'm going to give it to you, I'm going to give it to you. And she's like, well, I haven't heard anything as of yet. He's like, well, what are you talking about? It's not on the news. Because I just did it. He didn't say it like that, I'm saying it like that. Like, of course you wouldn't have heard anything. He said, well, I got documented proof. She said, don't be sending that to me. Franklin did say she's going to find a way to pin it on you. And I think that is Naomi's motive. I think so. I really think so. Anyways, we don't see no body. We don't see no blood. We don't see nothing. We don't see no cleanup. No nothing. What are the chances are that Franklin is still alive? 100%. We got 2 more episodes, so we don't know where this is going. But yeah. Yeah, I don't think Naomi was going to give him the money, just like Franklin said. And also was going to pin it on her. Or going to pin it on Hakeem. I think that was it for her. Now, let's get back to Bridget again. Because after Bridget and Calvin were there, next thing you know, Calvin's wife shows up. And she said, I knew you was cheating, trying to fight him, and ended up trying to accuse her and go after Bridget. And she ended up breaking a vase and all that. Like, oh, wait a minute. You don't even know nothing. But anyways, Calvin ended up getting the wife up out of there, and they left. And then Bridget makes this joke about, why everybody want to break stuff in my house? Still kind of falling flat for me, but y'all can tell me how y'all feel about this whole Bridget story, because it's kind of a waste of time. But whatever. Rashida goes and meets Gigi. We find out that Gigi is waiting outside of Tiffany's place, and we know that Javon is there. And basically at this point, Rashida's like, look, we're going to have to do something about this whole Tiffany thing. This is weighing a lot on me, and I'm really tired of holding these secrets. And we're really not being that fair to Tiffany. Rashida, say that. Your loyalty to Gigi is going to put fire under Tiffany, and whatever you get from Tiffany, I don't care. And I hope she takes it to hell on you. Because, look, I understand you're wanting to keep confidence and also show loyalty, but you're really allowing your friend to be in this crazy situation that she didn't ask for. The only thing y'all just saying, just take it slow. Take it slow. Y'all ain't even putting any type of doubt about this dude in her head. Like, what is wrong with y'all? I don't like it. Not whatsoever. So, whatever. Just say that. So, I'm torn. Oh. What's next? Okay. So, Rashida leaves. Javon then leaves Tiffany's place. And guess who gets out of the car? Geneva. Of course, I already said that. Geneva gets into the car, and she's just really wanting to know, why are you doing this with my friend Tiffany? Da 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 da. Those are 2 toxic, diabolical people that just deserve each other. She's thinking that Javon still wants her, and he's saying, no, I don't. I moved on. I'm with Tiffany. Well, you said that you came back here for me. You said that you wanted to be with your husband. So that's over and done with. And of course, he implied that him and Tiffany had sex. That got her blood boiling or whatever. And she was like, you can't do this. And he was like, well, leave William. I'll leave her. And we can raise Anika together. And then she said, I can't. Well, then he said he can't get off of what he's doing right now. Well, I'm going to go home and I'm going to F my husband. I said, you sure about that? Look, he don't care anything about you. Meanwhile, across town, well, then she gets out of the car and leaves. Meanwhile, across town, William is at the same bar of where John, Tiffany's ex, is at. And basically, he just says, things are pretty bad between him and Geneva, and they're getting a divorce. He didn't go into details. Next thing you know, he spots a girl over there, and John says, well, that's a hooker. And he didn't care. He approaches her and first says, look, I will give you $1,500 if we can go, because he said, let's. And she was like, what? He brings out the cash. She still sees money in his hand. And he said, okay, $2,500. And she says, you're on. They go. This is the part that I don't like. I don't care what William does, but where you do it at is important to me. He brings the hooker back to his spot. And he says, we got to stay down here, because she was like, where's the bedroom? No. He still got Anika up there. Don't say that y'all love her so well and you doing all that. Don't tell me you got soundproof walls and doors. So they end up having sex there on the couch. So they finish up. Geneva walks in the door. Right before we get there, let's go to Pastor and Rashida. They talk a little bit more about what's going on and all that. And Rashida was like, have you ever thought or have been thinking about being with another woman? And Pastor Jeff was like, what? That's nonsense. Why would you even say that? Come on, Pastor Jeff. Rashida said, look, if you're going to do it, just tell me. Don't do it behind my back. At least I could deal with you a little bit different than you doing all this extra stuff. So he ends up saying that I do have another woman that I want. And then the scene closes as her clutch of pearls. Do you think it's anything? I don't. But y'all let me know if he's really talking about another woman or has something to do with Rashida. Anyway, back to the scheduled program. At William and Geneva's, when she walks through that door, all I know is that she sees fire. And she immediately jumps over that sofa and starts putting her hands on that hooker. Okay, y'all. So, yeah, things then got very volatile. Now, y'all just tell me what y'all think about Bridget's storyline. Do y'all like it? Does it need to speed up? Do we need something else going on? What do you think the twists and turns are going to be with this whole William and Geneva situation? Do you think we're going to find out at the season finale will William find out about Javon and Naomi? What do you think is going on with this girl? She seems to be all over the place. It's quite weird. Tiffany, wise up. That's all I got to say. And look, you just got to think outside of whatever this ding-a-ling of gold is doing for you. Just wake up a little bit. Wake up. But that's all I got, y'all. Please tune into my recap review of Zatima. Zatima is back on Paramount Plus. It comes out on Tuesdays. So that's out right now. They're only going to be airing half-hour episodes. They gave us 2 to start off the season, but we're only getting 1 half-hour episode a week, which I hate. So hopefully somehow they change the writing around for the next season, because they are filming season 5 right now. And do you know that it's been 2 years if you saw the live yesterday on IG, on DeVal's IG page, it had been 2 years ago that they filmed season 4. They're just now filming season 5. But with all the legalities that were happening with BET and Paramount, it's understandable now that we know what was happening behind the scenes, you know. But yeah, they're just filming season 5. But I'm excited to see what happens with Zach, Fatima, and the gang and all that. Hopefully you like that show. That's my favorite show. Just stay tuned for more on this channel. Like, comment, subscribe. And until the next one, peace.